Hey, welcome back to another video. So someone suggested that I should do a detailed video about the interior of my car, so this one's for you. First off, let me run over all the buttons and their functions in this car. Then I'm going to run down the window sticker list and point out every visible interior features of my car. Talking about the interior, really the only difference between my 2020 and a 2021 model is the instrument gauges. It's now a digital screen instead of this setup, which I had in my last Audi, and after a while you just stop playing with it, so these gauges are completely fine for me. But for everything else inside the car, it is exactly the same setup and buttons as the previous generations. I was hoping there would be more changes on the 2021 model, but that's one of the reasons why I got the 2020 model. Starting over here, you have your door handle, lock, unlock, all your seats adjustments, the memory settings, and then you have one touch down, one touch up, left side window, passenger side window. If you press both of these buttons, it will fold the mirrors. And then these are for the mirrors adjustment. So left side mirror, right side mirror, adjust. And then you have your trunk release, your rear fog lights, your lane departure warning button, and then the interior light brightness adjustment button. And then you have your steering wheel adjustment. If you turn the knob to auto, it has an entry-exit mode where the steering wheel will move out of the way to help you enter and exit the car easier. The steering wheel. So these are the stereo controls buttons. So volume up, volume down, previous track, next track. But if you press menu, it will control the center screen, and it will act as a directional pad to get into those menu items. Phone button to answer phone calls. This button, if you don't have Apple CarPlay plugged in, it will act as a mute button for the radio. If you do have Apple CarPlay plugged in, it will act as a button for Siri. And then the mode is just to switch between the media. Over here, you have heated steering wheel control, and all of this is for cruise control. So the left stalk are all the lights control and the turn signals, and then this button here, if you press it, it will switch between the trip counters. On the right side is all the windshield wiper control, but I have it on auto, so it just does this thing when it senses rain. Also, with the lights control too, I have it on auto, so the lights turn on by itself. There's also paddle shifter, and once you click it, you can shift up, shift down, and it puts the car in the manual mode. When you start the car, the air vent goes up. And I'll do a whole video on the infotainment system, which is completely better. These three knobs have dual functions. The middle knob controls the airspeed, but if you press it, it turns the air system on or off. The knobs on the left side and right side controls the temperature, but if you press it, you can have heated or cool seats. I don't have the dual zone climate in the car. That's why when you control the temperature on one knob, it also changes the temperature on the other knob. In a two-seater cabin, I don't think you need dual climate. Auto air, AC button, recirculation, emergency signal button, windshield defroster, rear window defroster, engine start stop button, 12-volt outlet. This knob controls the volume. If you press it, it will turn the stereo on or off. This is the same shift lever as in a Range Rover Sport and a bunch of other Land Rover models. P for park, pull back for drive, upward for neutral and reverse, left to put the car in manual mode. And this pull button right here, so if you pull it down, put the cars in dynamic mode, which I drive in majority of the time. If you pull it up, it puts it in snow mode. I live in SoCal. I don't really plan to take on the snow, so I don't really use it. Also, when you pull it down in dynamic mode, the ambient lighting turns red in the car, and so do the speedometer gauges. This button turns off the dynamic stability control. I never touch it. This turns on the sports exhaust system, which makes the car even louder. I never really have to touch the parking brake button because the car does it by itself. This button disables the engine auto start stop when you have your foot on the brake. I never touch it because I don't mind that function. The spoiler button is really just to put the spoiler in cleaning mode. The car raises it up when it reaches 70 miles per hour and then goes back down at 50 miles per hour. You really have no control over it. And then you have two cup holders with the cover. And then you have the center armrest. with 2 USB ports. And this is for Apple CarPlay, and then the other USB is some of the music that I just store on there. And then you have the micro SIM slot, and then you have another 12 volt which I use for my dash cam. But that's pretty much it for the center armrest storage. And then the other storage you have is in the door on the passenger side, and also the same on the driver's side. This button releases the glove box compartment, however you cannot lock it. Another reason why I don't leave anything important in my car. The passenger side has the same seat controls as the driver's side. On top, you have 3 garage remote buttons under the frameless rear view mirror. The mirror is auto dimming, so at night when there's bright headlights shining at you, the mirror will dim to help you see. I also forgot to mention both of the side mirrors dim at night as well. There are also 3 touch-sensitive reading lights on top, and the In Control Connect button for the app, and the Emergency SOS button. And this car has one of the smallest sun visor I've ever seen, and it comes with the smallest visor mirror I've ever seen. And moving on top, you have your glass roof cover. This part right here, when I used to have the V6S version, it was open where you can store things inside, but for the R, it's covered, and it comes with a little net, so I just stuck an air freshener in there. Over here you have your current airbags, your front airbag, and then your side airbag. And then on the passenger side, the airbags are over here, and then you still have this current airbags over here running along this side. Okay, I'm gonna run down the window sticker list and point out every visible interior features of my car. So as far as performance and handling, all F-Type comes with selectable driving mode, which is this button right here. And you can configure your settings under the screen. Moving down the list to comfort and convenience. The steering wheel comes standard wrapped in leather and power adjustable, and my car comes with the optional R branded flat bottom, which looks nice and sporty, but doesn't really do anything functionally wise. We talked about the deployable spoiler, we talked about the rain sensing windshield wipers, the auto dimming interior rear view mirror. I'm pretty sure the Windsor leather sport seats is standard on the R, and I think you can pick either black or red. Mine just happened to come with the pimento red, and they are power adjustable. The seats are comfortable. I also had sport seats back in my 2016 F-Type, and they were chunky looking, whereas these ones are slimmer and definitely more sporty looking, and they have the R embossed on them. By the way, I didn't choose the options for my car. I just saw it at the dealership and it passed my must-have checklist, so I chose this one. I think the configurable ambient lighting comes standard on the R. I'm not sure if it's standard on the lower models, but my last V6S had it. There's 5 colors to choose from, but you can visibly really see 3 different colors, which are turquoise, white, and red. There's really 3 lights that changes with the ambient lighting. One is on the driver door under the door handle, one's on the center grab handle, and the other one is on the passenger door under the door handle. And everything else just stays that turquoise color. The car comes with the 10-inch Touch Pro system with Navigation Pro and Pro services, with Apple CarPlay and Android Auto. I don't know what those Pro services are because I only use Apple CarPlay, but I will probably do a whole video about the infotainment system later, which is so much better than the previous ones. This car comes standard with a 380 watts Meridian sound system, but my car has optional 770 watts surround sound system, which comes with 10 speakers and 2 subwoofers. This is my honest opinion about it. It's not the best system, but still way better than my last 2016 F-Type, which went into the shops multiple times, including tweeters, rattling, and many software updates. This one, the speaker rattles on the passenger side, but I think it's because this clip here that's not held on tightly. But I listen to a lot of music with heavy bass, so it's partially my fault, but I can live with it. I do miss the Bang & Olufsen system from my old Audi though. Moving on to the safety, security, and driving aids list. Visibly, I can see the current airbag, the front and side airbags, the tire pressure monitoring system, cruise control, rear camera, front and rear parking aids, lane and keep assist, and it says driver condition monitor, but I don't know where the monitor system is. Traffic sign recognition and adapted speed limiter. I do want to point out all the cameras and sensors on the windshield of this car. That probably monitors the traffic and speed signs and the lane departure function. Looks pretty intense from the exterior. Okay, moving down onto the optional equipment list. So fixed panoramic roof, which was a must-have, and it makes the interior feel so much roomier when you open it and let the light in. Also from the outside, the contrast between the matte and the gloss glass makes the car look pretty sick. We already covered the Meridian sound system. We talked about the heated and cool seats. Blind spot assist, which definitely helps because this car has a huge blind spot on the passenger side. Illuminated tread plates. Looks cool at night, but it's a $460 option. I had it in my Audi, so nothing new. I actually would rather switch it out for a power trunk lift if I could, which I don't have in this car. But a car like this in this price range really should have came standard. I also have the premium interior protection package for $255, which I have no clue what that is, but I also have the car care pack, which is this box right here. We talked about the garage door opener, which are located right underneath the rear view mirror. I also have auto high beam assist, which I turned off because it was too sensitive and would just come on a lot. We talked about the R flat bottom steering wheel. I forgot to mention, if you have the lane departure system on, the steering wheel vibrates when you drift out of your lane, and you can also have it steer you back into your lane. But I disabled this function because I didn't like the vibration from the steering wheel. Again, for a car at this price range, all this should have came standard instead of being an option. And like I said, I would trade some of these options for a power trunk opener. And that's it as far as what comes with the car. From the window sticker that I can show visibly inside the cabin, that is pretty much it. Alright, let's talk about quality. Everything is wrapped in leather and it's nice. It's soft touch everywhere with red stitching. However, I don't think it's as durable and as thick as other car brands. For instance, I don't remember dragging anything across this part of the dash, but now there's a dent in this part and it won't go away. It's kind of hard to see on camera. Also, one of my must-have too was to have a black headliner. I think there's an option for Alcantara suede, but this is totally fine for me. The car also came with plush floor carpets and these all-weather rubber mats, and I chose these mats instead because I drive this car daily and it's just easier to clean. Everything inside this car functioned like it's supposed to. A few minor things. Like I said, the back passenger speakers rattles a little bit. My seatbelt screech a little, but maybe it needs lube. The V6 version I had an opening here for storage, but I guess our version somehow is blocked. But that's okay because there's enough storage space inside the cabin, or at least enough for me. I have learned not to put anything important inside my car anyways. The glove box is decent, however you can't lock it. Another reason not to have anything important in the car. As far as room, I sit comfortably. I'm an average male height, but I guess that depends on who you're talking to. Anyways, I'm fine fitting in this car. Anyone who is 6 feet or taller, I would say it might get a little uncomfortable on long rides. I actually have my seat positioned pretty much all the way back. The longest I've ever driven in this car is for 6 hours, and I was totally fine. 99% of the time when I drive, I plug in my phone for Apple CarPlay, and that's my main audio source. Other than that, I put it in dynamic with this button, and that's how I drive majority of the time. I also have the app which lets you start the car remotely and set the cabin temperature to whatever you desire. The app does work, but it takes a while to connect to the car, but it does work, just not instantly. Even though there's minor things here and there, it has more functions and features than I need. And if you watch my other videos, you know the main reasons I got the car is because of its looks and how it sounds. And I absolutely love driving this car. If you want to see how much trunk space I have, I did a whole video about it, and you can click on the right hand corner for that video. Let me know if you have any questions. Again, thanks for watching. Don't forget to subscribe, and until the next video.